Welcome back to the Hardware Unboxed News Corner, coming at you today on Saturday rather than our usual Friday slot. It's been quite busy around here for us. Both Steve and I are spending quite a bit of time looking at the latest game releases, so stay tuned for that on the channel soon. I guess it's great for gamers that we're getting a whole ton of releases at once, but it does kind of make it a little difficult for us to do all the testing that we want to do for you guys. So bear with us as we work on that one over the next few weeks. But before then, let's talk about some news, and hopefully the Australian bird noises outside aren't going to be too bad for you guys this time around. The first topic I want to talk to you about is Vox Media issuing a false takedown notice to Bitwit Kyle over his reaction video parody of The Verge's terrible PC building video. I'm sure many of you have seen this issue blow up over the last week. Many creators have already made videos in support of Kyle, made excellent standalone videos on the matter, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this particular issue here. But basically, as creators ourselves, it's very important to us to stand up to blatant abuses of the YouTube copyright system like this. The tools are there for a reason. There are legitimate situations where filing a takedown request is necessary. We've had to do it when others have re-uploaded and stolen our content. But if organizations are allowed to get away with abusing these tools, it sets a nasty precedent where someone can have a video removed for illegitimate reasons, such as censorship of criticism. So it's great to see the community rallying to say loudly that the actions of Vox Media are pretty much unacceptable, and we certainly want to add our voice to that. I don't think The Verge's response to the takedown issue is acceptable either. It's very disappointing, at least in my eyes, that a major news organization would act in this way in general. So that's basically our thoughts on the issue. We try and stay out of the major drama things like this as much as possible because we love to just focus on the tech, the content, the regular stuff that you guys see on the channel. But for issues like this that can affect us and our livelihood as creators, as well as the livelihood of everyone else in the community, I think it's important to speak up on those sort of things. So okay, into the real news now. AMD has shipped the Radeon 7 without UEFI support. This story is pretty hard to believe when I first read it, but apparently an oversight during the card's development meant this feature was left out of final shipping models. When a GPU doesn't support UEFI, several issues crop up. Your motherboard will have to enable the compatibility support module, which can slow down boot times and cause other issues. It also means the UEFI secure boot will be disabled, and as Tech Power Up points up, if a product breaks secure boot functionality, it would fail Windows 10 logo certification. With that said, in most cases, a card that doesn't support UEFI should still work and function normally for gaming and so on without any performance difference. AMD is aware of the problem and has released a new BIOS revision for the Radeon 7 that adds in UEFI support along with the required bare bones GOP driver. This BIOS revision will be available through AIB partners such as ASRock, who have already published an update, as well as through AMD.com with a one-click install. So it should be a pretty straightforward problem to solve. It's very strange that this sort of issue would slip through the cracks in AMD's QA division though, although the launch has been a bit unusual. Steve encountered a larger than normal selection of bugs with the pre-release drivers, many of which have since been fixed, but that problem combined with the UEFI problem could point to a bit of a rushed release here. In better news for the Radeon 7, AMD has released a new Radeon Pro driver that adds limited support for consumer GPUs, including the Radeon 7. Users who install the Radeon Pro software for enterprise drivers for regular Radeon cards won't get all the features that are enabled with Radeon Pro cards, like workstation app optimizations and certifications and remote workstation support. But the driver will bring commercial software support and performance as well as enterprise security features. So that's pretty nice if you want to install, that for your workstation use on a consumer card that might be a lot cheaper rather than using this, standard gaming set of drivers. Thanks to video cards, we're getting the first look at NVIDIA's TU116 GPU, the heart of NVIDIA's upcoming GeForce GTX 1660 Ti graphics card. Video cards apparently has received photos of an MSI Ventus model, which when torn down has revealed a TU116 GPU as expected, rather than a TU106 GPU with sections disabled, the TU106 being the GPU used with the RTX 2060. The TU116 die itself is physically smaller than TU106, which is from the rumoured lack of RT and tensor cores in this GPU and NVIDIA's new GTX cards in general. Nothing much else to say here really, other than I guess it's interesting to see the die photographed. At this stage, the GPU is expected to be released on February 22, with a non-TI model coming at a later date, and we should have more to share on this particular GPU soon. It's looking like Intel will release a special KFC edition of the Core i9-9900K, named after, of course, one of the world's largest fried chicken stores. And what is a world-first collaboration between Intel and a fast food restaurant for a high-end enthusiast desktop processor, the Core i9-9900KFC is said to be enhanced with chicken fat thermal interface material and come with a special edition 11 Secret Herbs and Spices box cooler. KFC will be selling the CPU at all of its 20,000 plus locations worldwide in a bundle with classic original recipe chicken, although we're not quite sure on official launch pricing yet. So I really wish what I just said was the case, but unfortunately the real story is a lot more boring. In actual fact, the Core i9-9900KFC was simply mentioned in the change notes for a recent IDA 64 beta update. Usually IDA gets updated to support new CPUs well before launch, and in this case a KFC model processor has been mentioned ahead of an Intel official announcement. There's no word on what the 9900 KFC actually is. We know the K suffix stands for unlocked, and Intel recently also added an F for models without an iGPU. So the already announced Core i9-9900KF is a 9900K just without integrated graphics. We're not sure what the C stands for though, so we'll have to wait until the models come out to see how it differs from the other already released SKUs. It could mean there is eDRAM involved, like with Broadwell C models, but we just don't know at this stage. MSI is set to release a Radeon RX 580 2048 SP, one of the most misleading products released by AMD in the last few years. We've talked a little bit about this GPU before, but basically it's just a factory overclocked RX 570 labeled as an RX 580 so that buyers get confused and might accidentally buy the wrong product while spending more money than necessary in the process. It's unclear where MSI will be selling this product, but it's likely this will be reserved exclusively for Asian markets. However, as we said in our initial discussion on the RX 580 2048 SP, it really doesn't matter where this GPU is sold, it's still a misleading product that should be sold under a different name, something that's more accurate. Or AMD could just continue to sell RX 570s without needing to create another RX 570 and then call that an RX 580. So I found this next story pretty funny, to be honest. Continuing the whole Metro Exodus Epic Games Store saga, buyers of the physical PC version have noticed that a simple sticker is covering up the Steam logo on the back of the packaging. The sticker is an overlay for the system requirements, but it also seems to change the Steam logo and disclaimer to one relevant to the Epic Store. So it seems pretty clear now that, as many people have guessed, the whole deal to remove Metro Exodus from Steam was a last-minute decision that has also impacted even their physical manufacturing. Final topic for the week, the latest preview version of the Unreal Engine has added preliminary support for Microsoft's DirectX Ray Tracing or DXR API. This could make it easier for developers to add in ray tracing support to games, which is good news for those who bought an RTX GPU and are craving a bit more ray tracing action. Considering there's such a limited selection of games either with ray tracing right now or confirmed to support ray tracing in the future, any update like this is welcome for that ecosystem. All right, that's it for today's News Corner. A bit of a shorter one, but not necessarily a bad thing. As always, you can subscribe for weekly episodes of News Corner as a quick little summary of the week's news. Consider supporting us on Patreon to get access to our awesome Discord community where we chat with you guys from time to time, and I'll catch you in the next one.